학생들과 학부모님들, 저는 이혜진 선생님입니다. 최희 선생님과 함께 퍼플아카데미와 컴패션이 주최하는 제3회 스피치콘테스트 대회 결승전을 여러분과 함께 진행하게 되어 매우 기쁩니다. 이번 3회 스피치 대회는 오프라인 행사에 참석하신 분들 모두 진심으로 환영합니다.
네, 퍼플아카데미 학생 그리고 학부모 여러분들 안녕하세요. 제3회 퍼플아카데미 스피치와 함께 컴패션이 주최하는 콘테스트 결선에 오신 모든 분의 환영의 인사를 드립니다. 저는 함께 진행을 맡게 된 권세희 선생님입니다.
네, 많은 친구들이 이번 대회에 열정적으로 참여해 주었습니다. 예선 기간 동안 많은 친구들이 인스타그램에 자신의 스피치 영상을 공유하며 열띤 참여를 보여주었는데요. 오늘은 특별한 개성과 뛰어난 역량을 발휘한 우수 참가자들이 한자리에 모여 결승전에 도전하게 됩니다. 오늘의 스피치 콘테스트를 안내하기 전 퍼플아카데미 이수연 원장님의 환영 인사 말씀을 먼저 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 여러분 떨리죠? 네. 안 떨려요? 떨려요? 네. 지금 스피치 대회가 이제 3회를 맞이하게 됐는데 저희가 1회나 2회 때보다 올해 저희가 심사를 하면서 아이들이 정말 실력이 일취월장으로 발전했구나. 그리고 이 어드밴스 부분의 그 우열을 따지기가 너무 힘듭니다. 그래서 이제 저희가 사전 투표도 하고 그리고 아이들이 정말 퍼플의 자랑인 만큼 좀 열심히 할 수 있도록 의욕을 북돋았는데요. 아마 여러분 어머니 아버님도 아시겠고 그리고 우리 아이들도 이 성장을 하는 시간이라는 게 그냥 가만히 있다고 되는 게 아니라 아이들이 노력을 하는 시간에 그 성장이 이루어지는 것 같습니다. 그래서 제가 이번에 어드밴스 하는 친구들에게는 계속 조금 더 성장을 할 수 있도록 북돋는 말도 하고 쓴소리도 많이 했는데 집에서도 오늘 돌아가시면 정말 열심히 했구나, 잘했구나, 오늘 어떤 상을 받느냐에 중요한 게 아니라 아이들이 노력한 이 시간 동안 아이들이 성장했다는 것을 가장 중요하게 생각하셨으면 좋겠어요. 왜냐하면 저희가 이 스피치 대회를 준비하면서 온라인으로 영상을 보면서 하루하루가 달라지는 모습을 저희가 보기에도 느꼈거든요. 아마 부모님들도 많이 느꼈을 거라고 생각을 합니다. 특히 이번에는 저희 컴패션과 함께 진행을 하게 된 이유 중에 하나가 아직은 컴패션 담당자분들이 안 오셨으니까 우리끼리 속 이야기를 하자면 조금 더 이 퍼플아카데미의 아이들의 목소리가 밖으로 많이 퍼져나가고 우리 아이들이 국제적으로 그리고 대외적으로 이 기회를 많이 얻었으면 좋겠어요. 퍼플의 목표가 글로벌 인재 만들기죠. 예, 그래서 그만큼 학부모님들도 아이들에게 이 기회가 소중한 기회로 남도록 집에 가서 오늘 장려상을 받든 동상을 받든 저희 상 예쁘죠? 네. 여기 온 친구들은 저 상 하나씩 다 가져가요. 그쵸? 예. 그러니까 집에 가셔서 아이와 잘했다고 올해 너가 열심히 했다고 꼭 말씀해 주시길 바랍니다. 그리고 집에서 유튜브로 보고 계신 학부모님들 본선에 오르지 못했어도 아이가 노력하는 시간 올해가 쌓여서 내년에 또 기회가 있고 그리고 내후년에 또 기회가 있습니다. 아이들은 매년 똑같은 자리에 머물러 있지 않죠? 예. 그리고 도전하지 않으셨던 학부모님들께 제가 한마디 드리면 사실 우리 아이가 뭐 그걸 하겠어? 우리 아이는 수줍어서 못해 라고 엄마가 판단하지 마시길 바랍니다. 왜냐면 아이들은 누구나 기회가 오면 그걸 잡을 준비가 되어 있습니다. 그래서 올해는 참여 못하셨지만 내년에는 꼭 참여하셔서 아이가 성장할 수 있는 기회를 마련해 주시길 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
네, 원장님 말씀 감사합니다. 먼저
이번에 제3회 스피치 콘테스트는 먼저 비기너 부문부터 시작하여 인터미디엇 부문, 어드밴스 부문 순서대로 스피치를 들어볼 예정입니다. 그리고 오늘 행사 마지막으로는 모든 학생들을 대상으로 시상식이 진행될 예정이니 마지막까지 자리해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
네, 그럼 본격적으로 컨테스트를 진행하기 이전에 행사장 내에 계시는 모든 분들께 말씀드리고 싶은 것이 있습니다. 아이들이 다른 아이들의 스피치를 보고 듣고 이해하는 것도 한 모습의 교육의 방향으로 좋은 경험이 될 수 있으니 마지막까지 꼭 자리에 함께 해주시기를 부탁드립니다. 또 휴대전화는 무음이나 진동으로 설정 부탁드립니다. 그리고 우리 퍼플 친구들은 입장 준비를 할 때 다른 친구들에게 방해되지 않도록 안내에 따라 조용히 이동해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
다음으로는 오늘 스피치 콘테스트 결승전을 정정당당하게 심사해 주실 심사위원분들을 소개해 드리겠습니다.
네, 먼저 퍼플아카데미 원장님이십니다. 네, 그리고 퍼플아카데미의 김윤주 선생님, 고시은 선생님, 장세라 선생님, 양윤진 선생님, 김은주 선생님, 김현숙 선생님, 최강민 선생님, 마지막으로 오스틴 선생님께서 오늘 스피치 콘테스트에 참가하실 예정입니다. 오늘 심사를 도와주시는 심사위원분들께 모두 큰 박수 다시 한번 부탁드립니다.
다음으로 결승전 심사 기준을 안내해 드리겠습니다. 스피치 콘테스트의 심사 기준은 의사 전달력 및 표현력, 유창성, 정확성, 내용 각 15점과 자신감 및 태도 10점으로 총 70점으로 구성되어 있습니다. 나머지 30점은 인스타그램에 전 시행되었던 인기 투표로 합산되어 시상이 진행되게 되겠습니다.
네, 그럼 이제 먼저 비기너 부분 결승전을 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 비기너 부분에서는 전쟁으로 피해 입은 아이들을 돕는 방법에 대해 우리 친구들이 스피치를 진행할 예정입니다. 여러분 준비되셨나요? 네, 첫 번째 가장 먼저 박소은 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 박소은 학생 들어주세요. 네, 박소은 학생 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Esther and I'm from Korea. Why most people cry and feel scared? Let's share clothes with friends who have them keep warm. And we can draw pictures or write letters to friends. Thank you for listening. Goodbye everyone.
네, 박소은 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로는 김여준 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 인사.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Yojun. War made people cry and feel scared. Let's send books to friends so they have fun stories to read. Thank you for listening. Goodbye everyone.
네, 김여준 인사. 여준아 인사. 여준 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로는 은하율 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 하율이 인사.
Hello everyone. My name is Luna.
이제 시작해볼까?
Hello everyone, my name's Luna. I am from South Korea. War makes people cry and feel scared. We can share food and water with friends. We can also draw pictures or write letters to them. Thank you for listening. Goodbye, everyone.
친구에게 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로는 서유주 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 유주 학생 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Yuju. I'm from Incheon, Korea. Some friends are sad because of the war. I want to help my friend. I can sing a song for my friend. Tinkle, tinkle, little. 해줄게. Tinkle, tinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up the world, oh so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. My friend, don't worry, you are well, you are great child. I will always be on your side. I love you. Thank you for
네, 유주 학생에게 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로는 권호수 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 호수 인사. 네, 호수 학생 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay and I'm from South Korea. Some of our friends are feeling sad because of the war. War makes children scared and upset, but we can help. One way is by sending toys to show them we care. I think my Iron Man and Blaster toy would make a great gift. What about you? What toy would you share with them? Thank you for listening. Bye bye.
네, 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 인사. 네, 다음으로는 유연아 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
선생님 마지막에 인사시키세요. 조금만 뒤로 가서.
네, 연아 학생 인사.
Hello.
네, 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone. My name is Yuna and I'm from Korea. Some friends are sad because of the war. But we can help them. We can share food and water with friends. It will make them happy. Thank you for listening.
네, 연아 학생에게 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로는 오은우 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷 인사. 네, 그럼 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, I'm so glad to be here. My name is Euna. I'm from Seoul, Korea. War is when people fight each other. So war makes people sad and hurt. We can draw pictures or write letters to friends. And let's give credit and boost our friends. Thank you for listening. Goodbye everyone.
네, 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 인사. 들어와주세요. 네, 다음으로 조우현 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 우현 학생 차렷, 인사. 네, 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is John. I am from South Korea and I am 9 years old. Some of my friends are sad because of the war. There are many kids in the world who are younger than me. We can share food and water with them. Please give kids hope and help them be happy again. Thank you for listening.
네, 우현 학생에게 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 인사했어요? 잘했어요. 네, 다음으로 이진형 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 진영이 차렷, 인사. 네, 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone. My name is Jin-young and I'm from South Korea. Some kids are sad because of the war. We can send toys to friends. Thank you for listening.
네, 차렷, 인사. 진영이한테 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 들어가주세요. 네, 다음 스피치는 이제 마지막 순서인데요. 우리 비기너 부분의 마지막 순서 손현경 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 현경이 차렷, 인사. 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone. My name is Suna. I'm 7 years old. I'm from Busan, South Korea. Today I want to talk about how some children are sad because of the war. War is a very sad thing. It becomes school and hospital. Many children lost their parents. Some children must leave the house and go far away. It is very hard for them, but there are many ways we can help. First, we can share food and water with our friends. Second, we can send toys, books, and clothes. A toy can make a sad child smile, and a book can help them learn again. Also, we can draw a picture and read a letter to our friends. I have drawn picture and written letter for children who are having a hard time because of the war. I hope my letter and picture can help them feel better. Would you join me in doing this too? Let's keep sending love and hope to our friends who are having a hard time. We may be small, but together we can make a big difference. Thank you for listening.
네, 지금까지 비기너 부문의 친구들의 스피치였습니다. 많은 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음으로는 인터미디엇 부문에 참여하는 학생들의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 인터미디엇 부문에서도 전쟁으로 피해를 아이들에게 돕는 방법에 대해 스피치를 진행할 예정입니다. 첫 번째 친구, 가장 먼저 윤하준 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 하준 학생 인사. 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello, my name is Hajun. Today, I'll be talking about walls and how we can help children affected by war. Walls will never fall away from us. I go to an international school in Shanghai, and there, one of my friends is from Ukraine. Her name is Sandra, and because our country is at war, instead of going back to Ukraine, she went to Switzerland. I felt sad and sorry for her. A war is a big, long battle that involves many countries. The Russian-Ukrainian war started because long ago, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, which was a group of countries including Russia. Soldiers and even children were forced to join the war. Many innocent people were hurt, and some homeless children are desperate because the war is continuing. We all should work hard and contribute to stopping more people from dying. We can all help by donating food, clean water, and toys. We can also show that we care by writing letters and drawing pictures for them. Everyone can at least try to help someone or save them. It won't hurt to help those who need help. We all must try to bring peace for ourselves and our world. Thank you for listening.
다음으로 유시아 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 유시아 학생 인사. 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Sia and I'm 7 years old. Today, I want to talk about something very serious. It is about war. War is when one country fights another country using weapons like guns. I don't know exactly what it is, and maybe I will never fully understand. But one thing I'm sure about is that it shouldn't never happen. When there's war, many people get hurt. Homes and schools are destroyed, so people have no place to live. They cannot go to school. They cannot meet their friends and families anymore. War is very scary for children. Can you imagine losing your best friends or your families in just one day? I can imagine it. Just thinking about it is so sad. We may not be able to stop war, but we can help people who are in trouble. First, we can give them food, water, and money. Second, we can provide them with a safe place to live. Third, we can share their stories so more people will help. And finally, we can choose peace, just like Malala did. Do you know a girl named Malala Yousafzai? Malala could not go to school because of war, but she didn't stay silent. She fought for the right to education for children. She didn't use weapons like adults. She chose a peaceful way to fight. Even though she was hurt very badly, she didn't lose hope. Eventually, she enjoyed the right to education. In 2014, she became the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize. She was just a child like us. Isn't that amazing? My voice may be small alone. However, when we speak together, we can make a big change. I hope all children can feel safe and happy again. Children have to play, go to school, and smile without worry. I will finish by sharing Malala Yousafzai's words. Let us pick up our books and our pens. They are our most powerful weapons. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Thank you for listening to my speech.
유시아 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 다음으로 허은 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사. 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hi everyone, my name is Belle and I'm 6 years old. I'm from Anyang, South Korea. I'm going to talk about how we we can help children during war. War happens when countries or groups of people fight each other using weapons. Many people get hurt and sometimes even die. Children in particular have a very hard time during war. I think we should help them as much as we can. First, we can send them toys and letters to make them happy because they are often nervous or sad. Then we should give them water and food because food is hard to find and the water is often not clean and can be dirty. Then we should provide shelters and donate clothes because they lose their homes and need protection. We should donate clothes because their current clothes may be torn or damaged. Lastly, we need to focus on making them happy. I believe the most important thing we can do is stop war. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
인사. 하나님에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 다음으로 손정민 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
It's great to see you all today. My name is JN and I'm from Seoul, South Korea. War happens when countries or groups are in a big fight. Some children are sad and frightened after the war. If mom, dad, and friends die in the war, I feel sad. We can help by drawing pictures and writing letters to make them happy again. I believe that everyone can make a difference, no matter how small it is. Thank you for listening.
네, 김민아씨 차렷, 인사. 네, 잘했어요. 들어가주세요. 네, 이승민 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 승민이 차렷, 인사. 네, 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Harry and I'm 8 years old. Today I'm going to talk about how to help children affected by war. I think everyone knows what war means because the war between Ukraine and Russia is covered in the news a lot. War is when people fight each other and thus they fight with weapons, buildings collapse, crops are damaged, and many people are injured or killed. So some children are scared and hurt after the war. I'm so scared just thinking about it. My grandfather was born in 1950. 1950 was the year the Korea War broke out, and so many people died of disease and injuries. My grandfather often tells me how difficult and painful his childhood was because of the war. When he was a baby, he couldn't eat well due to the war. So he was the smallest and weakest among his siblings. I asked my grandfather what children needed the most during and after the war. He said the hardest thing were hunger and cold, so needed the food the most. I think we can help them by giving them food and providing shelters to keep them safe. How can we send food to children in war? I plan to save my pocket money and donate to Compassion International to help children in war. If we all help together, it will be a great help to them, and they will not have to suffer like my grandfather did in childhood. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
네, 차렷, 인사. 네, 승민이 학생에게 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로 김진온 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 진온이 차렷, 인사. 네, 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, My name is Alex. I'm 9 years old and I'm from South Korea. Thank you for giving me this chance to speak. Today, I want to talk about how we can have friends who are struggling because of war. War happens when people fight each other. It begins when countries or groups do not agree. War is terrible because it hurts so many people. Children are hurt the most. They are small and cannot protect themselves. Some children are lonely and scared because they have lost their homes and families. We can help them by drawing pictures when writing letters. We can also share toys and play with them. This will make them feel safe and happy again. Kindness and love are very important. Let's work together to create a peaceful world. War is bad, but we can make difference by helping those in need. Thank you for listening. Bye bye everyone.
네, 차렷, 인사. 네, 진원이에게 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로 윤서빈 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네.
Hi
Yes.
everyone, I'm so glad to be here today. My name is Dala and I'm from South Korea. Korea has been divided since the Korean War, leaving a heartbreaking history for Koreans. Today, I want to talk about the problems caused by war. A war happens when groups of people like countries fight against each other. I'm worried because wars make people lose their homes and families. Some children feel scared and get hurt because of war. As global citizens, we must find ways to help them recover. We can provide shelters, share food, and bring back their smiles. Together, we can make a difference. If we unite our efforts, we can help them their lives. Please join us in helping those in need. Thank you for your time.
차렷, 인사. 윤서인 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 다음으로 강서 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사. 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Masha. I'm 9 years old and I live in Suwon. Today I'll talk about war. What do you think about war? I think war is when groups of people, like countries, fight each other with guns. Each country has a big fight between adults. There are still wars in many countries around the world. Currently, many countries, including Ukraine, Syria, Yemen, Iran, and Israel, are at the war. Don't you believe that? When the war begins, their life changes. They lose their homes or their parents. Because of that, children feel afraid, sad, and worried. Some children feel worried because they don't have food, or afraid because they lost their home, and they feel sad because their parents are hurt or die. Lastly, some children have to break up with family because of the war. We have to help them. We can help by feeling pain together, sharing, and donating. Like me, children can help too. We can help by drawing and writing letters so they feel happy, or sharing our things like clothes, toys, and shoes. Also, we can collect some money to make a shelter for people who lost their home. We have to make a place where they can rest. I think I'm pleased that everyone joined this and think about the pain of people and help them. Thank you for listening to my speech. Bye bye.
초등학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 다음으로 강시 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 촬영, 인사, 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Leah and I am from Korea. Today I want to talk about what war is and how we can help children damaged in the war. Do you know what war is? War is when groups of people, like countries, fight with each other. When war happens, houses are destroyed, people get hurt, and some people have to leave the country. War makes children feel very sad and hurt. Children worry and sad because they have to leave their home and cannot go to school to meet their friends. Some children even lose their families. They feel scared, lonely, and sad. We should help these children. First, we should send them clean water. Water is very important for life. Because war destroys water cleaning systems, it is hard to get clean water. If we send them clean water, children can drink and wash. Second, we should send some money. If we send some money, they can get food, clothes, and a safe place to rest. Lastly, we can write letters and messages of hope. If children suffering from war read our hopeful messages, they feel happy and loved. If we all have a letter and we make a big difference for children suffering from war, let's all show love and care for them. I would like to thank the CEO of Compassion, the president of Academy, and all other officials for preparing this speech contest. Thank you for listening.
인사, 시우 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 다음으로 안유수 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
Hello, friends. I'm so happy to be here today. I'm Rusu and I go by Lucy. I'm from South Korea and I live in Pohang, which is located on the East Coast. Today, I'm going to talk about war. I think war is when one country wants something that another country has, so they fight for it. I think the children of those countries will find it hard to live. It will also be hard for them to grow up because they can't eat well or sleep well. Also, when they're sick or hurt, they can't get treatment properly and on time. How could we help them? I can help them by writing a letter to them and making a comic book so they can laugh. Also, I can draw pictures to cheer them up. Lastly, I can join events that helps kids suffering from war. Everyone can do it, just like me. How about you? Thank you for your time.
네, 유수 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음으로 최지호 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 인사, 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Gio and I'm 6 years old. Today I want to talk about something very important. It is about war. These days when we watch TV, we see tanks and soldiers. This is because there is a war in a place called Ukraine. War is happening right now in many places. What is war? War happens when countries or groups are in a big fight. They use dangerous things like guns and tanks. War is very bad, especially for kids. When there is war, kids can't go to school. They can't play outside or have fun. Many kids lose their homes and must move far away. Some kids even lost their families and this makes them very sad. They don't have enough food, clean water, or warm clothes. They feel scared and lonely. How can we help? We can send them food, clothes, or toys. We can write letters to make them feel better. We can also pray for their peace and safety. Even small actions can help a lot. War is not right. It hurts people and makes families very sad. Children should be safe, happy, and free to play. We must help these kids. If we work together, we can make the world a better place. Thank you for listening.
저쪽
네, 다음은 옥준영 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷 인사.
괜찮아요.
스피치 시작해 주세요.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leo. Have you ever seen a rocket in the playground? Have you ever seen a boy's diary? I saw it in the news. That is about the war, the sea, and the crime. War is when people fight each other. Some children have died and gone to the underground station because of the war. Even they lost their mothers. War is very sad and dangerous, so please stop the war. Children in the war, I want to help you when you are hurt. I want to hold your hand when you are sad. Don't worry, I believe you are not alone. One day, you will find your mother and have a happy day with me. Goodbye, everyone!
인사. 네, 준영 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음으로 이다연 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷. 인사.
Hello everyone, my name is Ala Lee and I'm from South Korea. Today I'm going to speak about the war. This story is really important. War is when groups of people like countries fight with each other. But ordinary people don't want to start a war. So why do they fight with each other? Some powerful men want to take other lands, money, and become more powerful. But war is not a correct method for any reason. Listen carefully. War is terrible beyond imagination. For example, people in the war hears helicopters flying and missiles popping everywhere all the time. Also, they see schools, houses, and lots of buildings crashing together. Some children lose their mommy, daddy, grandma, grandpa, and their pets. The children are lonely, scared, and afraid because of the war. In our land, the sight is colorful. But in the land at war, it is dark and gray. That is a very sad reality. Everyone, do you know that? Our country was at war too. At that time, another country helped us during the big war. Now, we can help those who are in war. We can help by giving them water and sending toys and clothes to make them happy again. Also, we show them compassion and friendship when they are worried. Our country is in a state of truce. We could have war sooner or later. We don't know. So, we help each other and stay happy all the time. We can do it together. Thank you for listening.
네, 다음 학생의 스피치였습니다. 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 강이솔 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
Hello everyone, my name is Lauren. I'm 6 years old.
Today I want to talk about war. War is very sad. During war, many people are hurt and some lost their homes. Families are often separated, which make everyone feel lonely and scared. War. A long time ago, there was war in Korea. My great-grandfather lost his family because of the war. He missed them his whole life and never got to see them again. This made me feel very sad. War is especially hard for children. They have to leave their homes. Families are moved to new places. They can't their family toy with them. They can't go to school or play with their friends. Some don't have enough food or clothes. They feel scary, sad, and alone. But we can help. Here are something we can do. We can share food, clothes, and toys. We can be kind and smile at them. We can help them feel safe and loved. If they come to our school, we can play with them, become their friend. A kind word or a small act of help can make a big difference. War is bad, but love is stronger than anything else. Let's remember to be kind and help others whenever we can. Thank you for listening.
네, 이수원씨에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음으로는 마지막으로는 우리 임단비 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사. 스피치 시작해 주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Dambi. What kind of day are you having today? Would you be able to live your daily life if you're in the war now? Even at this time, there are children suffering war. Children don't know why they have to lose their homes and families in war. War is not good because it takes away happy childhoods. We should show kindness and support to children who are hurt by war. I want to tell adults to stop war and return safe and happy childhoods back to children. Thank you for listening. Goodbye, everyone.
네, 단비 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 지금까지 인터미디에 부문 친구들의 스피치였습니다. 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 이제 어드밴스드 부문을 시작하기 전에 10분 동안 잠시 쉬는 시간을 가지도록 하겠습니다. 10분 후에 다시 여기 행사장으로 모이도록 하겠습니다. 네, 마지막으로 어드밴스드 부문 친구들의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 어드밴스드 부문에는 역사 속의 전쟁과 교훈에 대한 스피치를 진행할 예정입니다. 첫 번째, 가장 먼저 옥찬영 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 찬영이 차렷, 인사. 네, 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Noah. Even before my grandparents were born, my father's great-grandfather worked as a brave soldier in a war. At the same time, my mother's great-grandparents migrated to Busan due to the raging war. Now, you might be wondering what in the world this war is. The war that I am talking about is the Korean War. The Korean War was a conflict that raged from the year 1950 to 1953 and did not really stop but was ceasefire. North Korea and South Korea participated in the war as enemies, not allies, even though they were once the same country. Because of this, people like my great-grandparents were separated or even died. More than 3 million people died and more than 4 million people were separated during the war. I felt heartbroken and sorrowful that people who were once part of the same country fought against their own brothers and sisters. Because of the sorrows that the Korean War left, we can understand how important peace is. But nowadays, you could easily forget the gravity of wars. Remember the suffering that the war caused. Do not forget the war causes only violent reactions and does not solve problems. If we never forget, we could restore our ancestors' smiles. Thank you for listening.
네, 사장님, 차렷 인사. 네, 잘했어요. 많은 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로는 송서은 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 서은이 차렷 인사. 네, 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is Sun. Do you know why the Korean War started? One of my great-grandfather was refugee from North Korea. The other was the veteran who received order on military merit. This award is given to soldiers who did something very brave and important during the war. Today, I'm going to talk about Korean War. Korean War started on June 25, 1950 to July 27, 1953. North Korea invaded South Korea to take control. So the United States and United Nations helped Korea to fight. The fighting ended on July 27, 1953 with the ceasefire line. Now that we know about Korean War, let's move on to difficulties of Korean War. First, the war caused a lot of damage to the economy. Most of the countries were destroyed except for one city, called Busan. Many important buildings and valuable treasures were ruined too. Second, the war caused a lot of suffering for families. For example, 1.3 million South Koreans were killed and almost half of all Korean families were separated from each other. Great from North Korea caused Korean War and harm. In conclusion, we should find peaceful ways to solve problems without making war by working together. For example, we can keep talking to North Korea to understand each other. And we should never forget the soldiers who fought in the Korean War. Thank you for listening. Bye!
네, 서은이 차렷 인사. 네, 잘했어요. 서은이에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로는 오아린 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 아린이 차렷 인사. 스피치 시작해주세요.
Have you ever read The Diary of Anne Frank? How would you feel if it happened to you? Hello, my name is Erin and I'm 7 years old. Today, I'm gonna talk about an important war in history called World War II. This war lasted from 1939 to 1945, and it involved many countries around the world. Sadly, many people lost their life during this time. Why did World War II happen? The main reason was that many countries were competing for power, land, and resources. Some countries, like Germany, wanted to control other nations, and that led to war. To stop this, many countries have to work together to fight against them. But this war caused a lot of pain and loss for people all over the world. After the war ended, everyone realized how important peace really is. That's when countries began to work together more to prevent future wars. So, what lessons can we learn from this war? First, peace is the most important thing. War never brings good results for anyone. Second, we need to understand and respect each other's differences. Every country has its own culture, history, and beliefs. But we must respect each other and live together in peace. Lastly, we must make sure that the wars don't happen again. We should try to solve problems by talking, not fighting. By remembering the lessons we learned from past wars, we can make a peaceful and happy world. We should never forget the pain caused by war and always keep a strong desire for peace. Thank you for listening.
네, 아리사님에게 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음으로는 황지윤 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 지윤이 차렷, 인사, 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everybody, my name is Ji-Yoon Hwang and I'm 8 years old from South Korea. Have you ever heard of the Imjin War? It was the Japanese invasion of Korea that took place from 1592 to 1598, lasting 7 years. It was a very important war in Korean history because it was an opportunity for Korea to repel Japan's invasions and strengthen the national power of Joseon Korea. Today, I want to share with you what happened during the Imjin War and the valuable lessons we can learn from it. The Imjin War began with a warning from a wise man, Lee. He told King Sanjo that Japan might attack Korea and advised him to prepare 100,000 soldiers. However, the king didn't believe him. Unfortunately, Lee's prediction came true. The Japanese invasions occurred. During this difficult time, Lee Sun-shin showed incredible leadership. He never gave up even when the situation seemed hopeless. He built powerful warships such as the famous turtle ship and used clever strategies like the Hagijin formation, which surrounded and attacked the enemies in the shape of a crane. Thanks to Lee's effort, Joseon was able to survive. From the Imjin War, I learned 2 important lessons. First, we should listen to people who gives us good advice. Lee tried to warn King Sanjo, but the king didn't listen. This teaches us that we should trust wise people who foresee problems and act on their advice to prevent future damage. Another lesson is to have courage and never giving up like Admiral Lee Sun-shin. He showed us the importance of staying brave and strong even in the toughest situations. The Imjin War is not just about fighting. It teaches us to be smart, brave, and strong. I hope we can all remember these lessons and apply them in our own lives. Most importantly, let's remember the importance of peace over war. Thank you for listening to my speech.
네, 지원 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음 순서로는 김준 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 준이 차렷, 인사, 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone, my name is June, and today I want to talk to you about the Korean War and the important lessons we can learn from it. The Korean War began in 1950 and lasted for 3 long years. It was a terrible time in history. It happened because North Korea invaded South Korea. Many people were hurt during this war. About 2.5 million soldiers and innocent people lost their lives. Can you imagine how heartbreaking it is for a family to lose someone they love? In 1953, the war ended with a ceasefire, but even today, Korea is still divided into the south and the north. This war is a very important event in Korean history. The Korean War teaches us important lessons. The first lesson is that it shows us how important peace is. Peace means that we can live without fighting and fear. When there is peace, we can go to school, play with friends, and feel safe and happy. We should try to solve problems through talking instead of fighting. When we have different opinions with friends or family, peaceful discussions can help us avoid conflicts. Another lesson is that we should cooperate and help each other. During the war, many soldiers from different countries came to help South Korea. They worked hard to make sure that everyone was safe and to stop the fighting. This reminds us that we should always help others in need. If we see someone who is sad or hurt, we can try to solve it together because we can solve problems better. However, even now, wars are still happening in places like Ukraine and Syria. Many children are losing their homes, friends, and growing up without their parents. They must feel very lonely and scared. We need to think about how we can help them in need. Lastly, we should remember the past and not lose hope. During the Korean War, many people had a hard time, but they worked together with help to rebuild their cities. We can learn from the bravery that help is very important to get through hard times. In conclusion, the Korean War was a sad event that took many lives. This means that we need to understand the importance of peace and learn to help each other. We should remember the people who suffered during the Korean War. Also, we should not forget those who are currently suffering because of war. We need to stand together, support each other, and keep trying to help as many people as possible escape from the pain of war. Thank you for listening to my speech.
네, 김준 학생께 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 이제 들어가 주세요. 네, 다음으로는 이민하 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 미가 차렷, 인사. 네, 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everybody, my name is Mina. How would you feel when one day you have to enlist for the army? Today, I will tell you about World War II. World War II started in Germany, led by Adolf Hitler, invaded Poland to take control of the country in 1939. Hitler wanted to gain more power and land for Germany, and he also wanted to take control of Poland, leaving the Poland as theirs, so Germany should take control of it. Soon, Britain and France joined in to support Poland because the two countries agreed to help Poland if it was attacked. Britain, Poland, and France were allied powers. Germany received help from Japan.
Japan and Germany were the Axis powers. The United States joined as part of the Allied powers after Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941. World War II went on for 6 years. About 21 to 25 million soldiers died in this terrible war while fighting. However, 50 to 55 million civilians died. This war ended in 1945. World War II also resulted in the deaths of 71 to 80 million people. World War II teaches us about extreme nationalism, and some countries think that their country is greater than others, leading them to treat those countries differently. This can cause conflict or disagreement. We need to find a peaceful and nonviolent way to resolve significant disagreements that does not involve war or battle or anything cruel like bombing. Thank you for listening to my speech. Bye bye.
네, 잘했어요. 네, 다음으로 염사랑 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 사랑이 차렷. 인사. 네, 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone. My name is Irene. I'm 6 years old. Today, I'm going to talk about the Silver War. I read the book Magic Tree House, Silver War on Sunday, written by Mary Pope Osborne. I learned about many things. In the 1800s, the United States was divided over the issue of slavery. The North wanted the country to end slavery, but the South wanted to keep slaves because more than 4 million African American slaves worked in the huge plantation built there. This disagreement between the North and South led to the Silver War. The Silver War was a cruel and bloody conflict. More people died in this war than in all of America's other wars put together. One of the very fine young men in the nation died or was wounded. The United States was at war for 4 years. Finally, the Union won, and slavery was abolished. We can learn 3 things. First, many people bled and died. They lost their families and never saw them again. So, we can solve problems of talk, not war. Second, slavery is not good. Everyone is precious. Slavery was abolished. Lastly, before the war, only men were nurses. But when they all went to the war, women became nurses. Both men and women can do the work of the job. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening. I want to share with you about the Silver War and lessons. Thank you.
네, 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 차렷, 인사. 네, 이제 들어가 주세요. 네, 다음으로는 안도현 학생의 스피치를 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 도현이 차렷, 인사. 스피치 시작해주세요.
Hi, my name is Haley. Today, I'll talk about World War I and what happened. World War I started because of conflict between countries. Germany's power were getting stronger, so France, Russia, and Great Britain formed alliances. In response to this, Germany and Austria-Hungary from alliances. Then, a Serbian killed an Austro-Hungarian leader. For the war that followed, countries started to take sides. But there were countries that didn't take any sides too. World War I officially started in 1914 on August 4 when Germany attacked Belgium. The war was a big problem for the countries that participated in the war. The main reason was that the war caused a lot of damage. More than 12 million soldiers died, not counting regular citizens, and many countries spent millions of dollars to fix the damage that the fighting had caused. From this war, we can learn that we should try to find peaceful solutions, not just fight. If we don't, there will be another world war. We can talk to almost every problem. We just don't try. If you just think about it, you can solve almost every problem with only talking. I believe that people should only fight when it's absolutely necessary. Even if we fight, it will only cause more trouble and more bad feelings between countries and individuals. We should have a mindset to forgive others' minor mistakes. If we don't, the world will be a terrible place to live in. Think about it. Everyone will be angry at each other. Wars should never happen again. However, people have already forgotten this. There are still over 20 wars going on around the world. We have to stop them. World War I was a terrible war that changed the course of history. If this war happens again, humanity might be destroyed. We have to try our best to not make a major war in history again. Thank you for listening.
인사. 네, 조연이 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 들어가주세요. 다음은 정성윤 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷. 인사. 시작해주세요.
Hello. Do you know about World War II? Many people died and the world was changed by this war. I'm Sungin Jung. Today, I'll tell you about this war and how we can stop wars like this. This war would not have happened if Hitler, the dictator of Nazi Germany, hadn't broken his non-aggression pact. Hitler signed the non-aggression pact with Britain and France not to invade other countries, such as Poland. However, Hitler wanted more land and power. So, Hitler broke this pact and invaded many other small countries in Europe. As the war went on, France surrendered to Germany, so Britain was left alone against the Axis powers, which consisted of Germany, Italy, and Japan. However, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, so the neutral US joined the Allies, and they won World War II. World War II was tragic. About 21 to 25 million soldiers and 50 to 55 million civilians died. This was a huge loss. During the war, Hitler persecuted
6 million Jews. What do you think about this tragedy? World War II taught us many lessons. First, we must live in peace. World War II happened because of lost peace and harmony, which led to the deaths of countless lives. Second, we must be patient and content. If Hitler hadn't broken the non-aggression pact, World War II wouldn't have happened. World War II is an example of how a big war happens when you have too much desire for land and power. We must always work to maintain peace and be content with what we have already. Thank you for listening.
네, 성민학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음으로는 김나온 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사, 시작해주세요.
Giving some nice greetings to my friends and teachers. Hello, I'm Kim Ra-on and I'm from Nebula Nonfiction class. Last year, I went to Universal Studios in Japan, and it was amazing because there were so many rides. My favorite was Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. If you ever had a chance to go there, make sure to try it. It's the best. The next day, however, my dad said, "Let's go visit the tomb." I remember thinking, why are we going to some boring tomb? We don't have enough time to do all the fun stuff. But then, he told me the name of the tomb, an ear tomb. I couldn't believe it. What kind of tomb has ears in it? An ear tomb is where the ears and noses of ancient Korean people are buried. This happened during the Imjin War, when Japan invaded Korea in the late 1500s. When the war was being continued, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the ruler of Japan at that time, wanted to brag something about the war. So he decided to cut off Korean people's noses. Think about it. One person has 12 noses each, but Toyotomi wanted to get more. That's why he ordered the soldiers to take ears and noses as trophies of war. Now, let's connect this to a broader perspective. After World War II, Ronald Reagan, who was the president of the US, said, "Peace through strength." Why am I bringing this up? Because if we had been stronger during the Imjin War, would Japan have dared to attack us? Probably not. Being strong is the key of keeping nations safe and peaceful. Even today, wars are fragile. Look at Russia and Ukraine, or South and North Korea. The message of an ear tomb has started its revival. If we are strong, we might face something terrible, such as losing our loved ones. Just remember, peace through strength. A nation's weakness might lead to its citizens' pain. Thank you.
인사, 다음 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음으로는 오하엘 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사, 시작해주세요.
Did you know that World War II started because of people's greed? Hi everyone! I'm so happy to be here. My name is Laura and I'm 8 years old. I'm from South Korea. Today, I'm going to talk about World War II, one of the most terrible conflicts in world history, and what we can learn from this terrifying war. World War II started because of people's greed for land. It began when Hitler of Germany, Mussolini of Italy, and Hideki Tojo of Japan joined forces and tried to attack and take over the Allies with their greed. The war spread everywhere as countries participated in this horrifying conflict. The war's many invasions caused a lot of damage and casualties. Germany invaded Poland, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, and Italy invaded Ethiopia for their own greed. That was when the real World War II began. World War II began on September 1st, 1939, and ended in 1945 with Germany surrendering because of Hitler's suicide and Japan surrendering due to the 2 atomic bombs that the USA launched. During those 6 years, over 50 million civilians died, which is about as many as the entire population of Korea. This all happened because of people's greed. All the people contributed to World War II, but the people who had the most influence in starting the war were the greedy leaders. I think people's greed brings a fearful disaster, which is war. So, I'll suggest some ideas on how to become a great leader. In my opinion, I strongly believe that a great leader must learn the right things, have the ability to express emotions, and be able to cooperate with others. First, we must learn the right things and have correct knowledge, because a leader needs to be responsible and guide citizens down the right path. Next, we must have the ability to express our emotions. This is because we need to make our country a place that citizens adore. Lastly, we must be able to cooperate with others. This is because peace comes when we share and support one another. In conclusion, I definitely believe that if these great leaders guide the citizens down the right path, the people will not be greedy and will not try to steal land. Then, all the people in the world will be happy and peaceful. I hope you and I will grow up to be heroic and great leaders. Thank you for listening to my speech.
인사. 네, 하윤에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 오하윤 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
Do you know about the war between Russia and Ukraine? In both countries, many people are dying right now, and many things are being destroyed. Hello everyone, my name is Ayun Oh. Today, I will talk about this war and what is needed to stop it. I still cannot believe that the war is going on in this day and age. It is unfortunate that this war, which causes enormous human and material damage, has lasted over a year. War does not result in winners and losers, but in the killing of civilians, the destruction of refuges, industrial facilities, and violence. Reconciliation is difficult even after the end of the war because both parties to the war remain hostile feelings. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, but the Korean Peninsula is still consumed by hostility. Even though there is no reason or basis for a war, I have found that it can still easily happen in the 21st century. The war between Russia and Ukraine shows that if we let conflict and crisis grow, they can lead to war in an instant. The resistance of the Ukrainian people is important in protecting freedom and democracy. They have taken up arms against the Russian invasion and are showing their strong will to protect their lives and futures. The resistance is a symbolic example of the spirit and values of humanity, regardless of whether they win or lose a war. Unfortunately, unlike conflict and wars, reconciliation and peace do not occur easily and are difficult to sustain. Nonetheless, first of all, we must work harder to make peace with more interest in the causes, conditions, and processes of peace. This is because any efforts to prevent conflict can serve as a foundation for peace. Second, we must also emphasize the importance of dialogue in international relations. Even if we negotiate for 100 hours and nothing comes of it, it's better than a minute of shooting. Let me finish my presentation by quoting Hamil Schmidt, a peace politician. Thank you.
인사, 아이디어스에게 한마디 부탁드리겠습니다. 네, 다음은 이서윤 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 시작해주세요.
Imagine a small boy clings to his mother while soldiers harshly shake him off. Many soldiers are killed cruelly and brutally every day. Bombs and planes are flying everywhere. This is the sad reality of wars. Hello everyone, my name is Alicia. Korea, where I live, has a painful chapter in history, the Korean War. Today, I'll introduce you the Korean War, one of the major wars in the world, and how to prevent it. Before I start, let me ask you a question. Did you know that the Korean War has 3 names? South Korea calls it the Korean War, North Korea calls it War of National Liberation, and China calls it War to resist America and to aid Korea. The Korean War was the effect of the collision between communism in North Korea and democracy in South Korea. In the years after the World War II, the Soviet Union did its best to draw other countries into communism, while the United States grew increasingly worried about the spreading stage. After Germany and Japan were defeated, the two forces tried to convince more countries to believe their ideology. Korea would be the next target. The Korean conflict was the start of this war. Korea became a side of Soviet Union and America's clash, divided between the Communist North and Democratic South. The Korean conflict was an ongoing confrontation over the true legitimate government of Korea. So, on June 25, 1950, North Korea invaded South Korea to try to unify all of Korea under communist rule. The United Nations decided to intervene on behalf of South Korea because North Korea had not declared war first on the country it wanted to fight. The United States was 90% of the UN Army. This was the time of Incheon landing operation when General MacArthur was a commander. After the operation, the UN and South Korea kept going forward and forward, always up to China's border. Then China, which was also a communism country, interfered. The charter of the situation had changed. So the UN and South Korea, China and North Korea, colliding back and forth. The impact of the war continued long after the fighting ended. The economy and the development of both Koreas suffered tremendously due to the destruction. It set the country back by decades. Many people lived in poverty for a long time. Political tensions remained high between the two Koreas. Occasional military clashes still happen along the border. Families remain separated by the divide. Many yearn for the day where Korea can be united again. In my opinion, to prevent such a devastating war from happening again, both South and North Korea should learn to unite and understand each other, even if their political ideas differ. They should increase cultural exchanges. A war like this should never happen again. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to my speech.
네, 서진 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 차예린 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
Hi, I'm Aaron. It's really cold today, isn't it? Like the cold winter weather, I will introduce the effects and lessons learned from the cold and disastrous Korean War. First of all, I have some reasons to introduce you to the Korean War. Guess what the reasons are throughout my speech. The Korean War happened on the very land we are standing on. Also, our grandparents might have experienced this war. The Korean War made South Korea and many other states suffer. I especially feel gratitude toward the United States because they gave us help. Even more shocking, the Korean War made the Korean people become enemies in one war. To tell you more, it was a very violent fight that nobody should have ever experienced. The war finally ended in the year 1953, but it left us with an imprint of hatred toward each other, and some countries disagreed to make a peace treaty and instead made a ceasefire. The Korean War taught us that wars could happen in a matter of time, as well as the fact that we shouldn't try to solve problems through war. We better negotiate. I felt that it is wrong to invade so much more power. I have learned from the Korean War that war is not a good way, but only a violent way to make a problem even worse. The war was not a good idea because many innocent people lost their lives in a single war. Additionally, the Korean War made the environment become worse. The war guns and the blazing forests made the soil and air dirtier, making plants hard to grow for quite a time. To add, Korea's economy dropped steeply for a very long time, making the situation Korea was in worse, and thus making people in Korea suffer. Just then, I got the idea that war was something that nobody should ever suffer from, and we should never, ever use war as a solution to problems. So, I want to encourage people not to fight and to talk peacefully, like Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi. Please remember that if a country wants to go into war for more power, it backfires, and it's the same as saying, I want to lose power. Keep in mind, no war. Have you realized my reasons by now? It's to remind you of the sadness wrapped up in a single war. And I'm from South Korea, so I especially wanted to talk about this. Did you find my speech meaningful? Thank you for listening. Goodbye!
감사. 네, 예린 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 박솔 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷! 인사! 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone. This is Ruby. I'm here to tell you about my family's history. Have you ever heard about displaced families? I'm one of them. Let me say, 1. If you lost your family and there is no possibility to meet them ever again, this terrible thing has happened to my great-grandfather. On June 25th, 1950, the Korean War was started by North Korea through a surprise attack. This tragic history took away millions of people's lives and lost their families. My great-grandfather had passed through the middle of disastrous war. He must evacuate his hometown from the miserable reality he had never seen before. My great-grandfather lived in Hwanghae-do, which is located in North Korea. Unfortunately, he couldn't flee from his hometown with his family. The decision of his family was the only way to keep their precious son alive, thinking the evacuation was temporary. During his road to survival, he passed through Seoul City and went all the way to Cheongju City by walking. He couldn't realize how many days had passed. He hadn't been able to eat or sleep, and besides, he had to face extremely freezing weather. He believed he would go back home and meet his family soon. However, he missed his family who were left in North Korea for his whole life and couldn't get his wish because of the separated homeland. After the Korean War, they created the truce line of the 38th parallel between two countries for peace. The Korean War has stopped. However, the deep sorrow of my great-grandfather's war will never end. When I heard his sad stories, it was such miserable and gruesome. And I was reminded that these people have a painful past that I never experienced. There are no words that can explain the pain and horrors of the war. There is no more valuable thing than people's lives in this world. Now, there are still so many people all over the world suffering from losing family to the war, like my great-grandfather. I sincerely pray that they will never give their lives and have to have bright hopes. It is really an honor to have a chance to share my family story here with you. In my mind, my great-grandfather is always my great hero. The reason why I can stand here is that he survived and settled a beautiful and hopeful present on me. Thanks for your attention.
수업하고 심각해 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 배서윤 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사, 시작해주세요.
So warm, so comfortable, and best of all, my mom and dad's tender voice. Oh, hi! My name is Maristella, and I'm 8 years old. As always, I start my day with happy money in my happy house. But one day, I heard my grandfather's shocking story. When I was young, he died. The cause of his death was the aftermath of the Vietnam War. Then I was curious about what war is and why it kills so many people. So I searched for information about war. It was terrible. Plain, line, dot are there to define war with these 3 things. First, plain. The first war happened to expand their territory. For example, World War I. It was a fight for territory for its benefit. During the war, not only people but also many animals were killed, injured, and extinct. The animals that barely survived also can't live happy. They can't live happy because they have trauma and might also have a disorder. Second, line. These mean the dividing nations. Germany, Vietnam, and Korea are these nations. Which countries the line land on the map? Try to answer it. That's right, it's Korea. And also, it's my country. I think it is all of us too. Some people can't meet their loved ones and should be missed the rest of their lives. I don't even want to imagine the sadness. If I am imagining and I think it's terrible, then what about the real people that really separated by the line? It will be even more terrible than I thought because they're feeling it and I'm not. Lastly, dot. Now work is going on faster and faster than before. If we just point at the map where we are going to send the missile and then, boom! The missile will be somewhere pointed. Virus and cyber attacks also happen easily. You might be relieved, but this kind of war will attack us in a quiet way. Some people have big scars because of that. I also think it will hurt. Future wars will not be about expanding territory, dividing with lines, or attacking them by pointing. War is close to us, like my family. We need to stop this terrible war. Any kind of war. Instead of fighting, we need to empathize, understand, and communicate with others. Understanding and empathizing with each other's hurt is harder than studying science and technology. But it's easier than disappearing peace and happiness for all life on earth. We need to help the people and animals who are hurt by war. Don't forget that technological advancements began first to make humans happy. I want everyone in the world to live a happy and human life. Thank you for listening.
네, 서인학생에게 생각 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 김백민 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사, 시작해주세요.
Our country has been struggling recently because of the president. However, many people worked together and democracy came back to life. Did you know that something even more terrible happened in the past? Hello everyone! My name is Eden. Have you heard about the Korean War? It was a war that left deep scars on our nation. Starting on June 25th, 1950, the Korean War turned our country into ruins and divided the nation in two. Despite the immense hardships it brought, our people rose above the struggles by helping and cooperating with one another. Through perseverance and unity, we built a peaceful society and transformed Korea into the thriving nation it is today, admired by people around the world. Unfortunately, in recent times, the spirit of cooperation and mutual care seems to be fading among younger generations. Individualism and a sense of helplessness are becoming more prevalent. Everyone, just stop thinking, worrying, looking over your shoulder, wondering, doubting, fearing, hurting, hoping for some easy way out, struggling, grasping, moaning, groaning, honing, nitpicking, nose sticking, eyeball poking, finger pointing, alleyway sneaking, long waiting, small stepping, evil eyeing, back scratching, searching, purging, besmirching, grinding away at yourself. All of this is making your spirit of cooperation fade among all of you. So, is there any possibilities to make a better world? I believe we must strive in everything we do, because we have to become people who can share hope with those facing greater challenges than ourselves. I believe that giving is not just about providing material things. It's about creating happiness for both the giver and the receiver. The Korean War taught us an invaluable lesson. We must work together to build a better world. I urge you to join me in supporting war orphans and fostering peace through organizations like conventions and other collaborative efforts. Together, we can make the world a brighter and more peaceful place. Thank you.
인사 본인 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 최지암 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷 인사 시작해주세요.
Have you ever lost your family and friends during a war? There is a history of people from the same country, not different countries, fighting for their lives at gunpoint. Hello friends, my name is Leo. Today we're going to talk about the Korean War. The war started when the United States and the Soviet Union started to have different opinions and made North Korea and South Korea. But North Korea wanted to make Korea one again by war, so they invaded South Korea in 1950. We were losing because it happened at night. We couldn't afford the Soviet Union, the Chinese, and North Korea, although we had the United Nations besides South Korea. However, in 1950, we planned to regain Seoul. We went by boat and we regained Seoul again. We were nearly winning when the Chinese army armed with guns backed us down. Backwards we went. Suddenly, we regained power again and continued the war. In the end, we had a ceasefire with North Korea. What do you think about the war? To me, it looked like the war gave us many lessons. First, if we have different opinions, we can solve it in peace by having a conversation. According to the war, the president of North Korea didn't solve it in conversation and tried to solve it in war. Second, if we have a war, many people can be injured or dead. In the Korean War, 2.5 million to 3 million soldiers died. Therefore, we have to not have wars. Third, we can't have divided countries. Korea is the world's only divided country, and therefore we can't meet our family. What a sad story. Now I can confidently say that we can't let a breakout like the Korean War happen because of its amount of people dead or injured. And I look forward to reunifying in a peaceful way and meeting our lost family and friends. Thank you.
제이에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 송가윤 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사.
World War II is considered one of the most important events in the history of the 20th century. This huge and international war, which lasts from 1939 to 1945, affects many parts of the world and brought about permanent change in modern geopolitics and society. Good afternoon, my name is Molly. Today, I will talk about the major events of the World War II and the historical lessons that we learned. Do you hear about Holocaust? It was a massive anti-extremism and functional atrocity committed during World War II under the lead of Adolf Hitler, the leader of Nazi Germany. These tragic events took place in unknown massacre, forced labor, and the darkness of mankind against various minority groups under the lead of Adolf Hitler, the leader of Nazi Germany. The Holocaust was one of the most miserable and cruel events that should not be remembered and repeated for a long time. Due to tragic events such as Holocaust, we learned many lessons from World War II today. First of all, we learned human rights and equality. In World War II, Hitler murdered Jews. This incident provides the lessons that humans should be treated equally by nature. Second, we recognize the dangers of prejudice and discrimination. World War II shows how prejudice and discrimination can destroy human society. Recognizing hurting groups as other and promoting hostility can lead to confusion and destruction. Finally, diversity and inclusion are important values that create social affluence. A society that embraces and respects people from diverse backgrounds,
can prevent tragedies such as World War II. We must use these lessons to create a path for human society where we can cherish human rights, overcome prejudice and discrimination, and coexist peacefully. I believe that if everyone keeps these lessons in mind, then both the works ahead and the works that are ongoing will be wisely and peacefully resolved. Thank you for listening.
인사. 네, 가윤이 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 김도윤 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
Did you know that World War II was the deadliest conflict in history, killing more people than any other war, involving 61 countries and lasting 6 years? Hello everyone, my name is Roy. Today, I'm going to talk about World War II and the lessons we can learn from it. First of all, let's quickly review the Second World War. It started in 1939 when Germany, led by Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, invaded Poland. Britain and France stepped in to defend Poland from the Nazi invasion, and this marked the beginning of World War II. Italy and Japan soon joined Germany in invading other countries, forming the Axis powers. In 1941, the United States entered the war after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, a U.S. naval base in Hawaii. This attack came while the U.S. and Japan were still in negotiations. That same year, before the Pearl Harbor attack, Germany betrayed its ally, the Soviet Union, by launching an invasion. The Soviet Union had no choice but to join the Allies and fight against Germany. Many alliances and defenses were tested and broken throughout the war. After 6 long years of brutal fighting, the war came to an end in 1945. The United States dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, forcing Japan to surrender and sign a peace treaty. The casualties were staggering: 21 to 24 million soldiers and 50 to 55 million civilians lost their lives. What can we learn from World War II? First, we learn important lessons about the consequences of discrimination and hatred. One of the darkest aspects of the war was the Holocaust. The Nazis targeted Jews, people with disabilities, Slavs, and Romani individuals because they viewed them as imperfect Europeans. The Nazis killed 6 million Jews and millions of others. Victims were sent to concentration camps where they were forced to work under inhumane conditions, often facing beatings and death. The Holocaust teaches us the dangers of racism, prejudice, and intolerance. It shows why we must treat everyone with respect, no matter their race, religion, or background. Discrimination didn't only happen in Europe, it also happened in the United States. For example, Japanese Americans faced discrimination even before war. But after the attack on Pearl Harbor, suspicion and hatred turned in reverse. Many Japanese Americans were unjustly sent to prison camps because the government feared and helped Japan. Despite this unfair treatment, Japanese Americans tried to live as normally as possible in the camps. In 1988, Congress passed a law acknowledging that the camps were unjust and apologizing for what happened. This teaches us that hatred and discrimination can lead to great suffering very quickly. Second, war causes unimaginable pain and destruction. World War II was a reminder of how quickly conflicts can escalate and how devastating the consequences can be.
Millions of lives are lost, cities are reduced to rubble, and families are torn apart. The third lesson from the war is about the dangers of nuclear weapons. Cities like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were completely destroyed, and millions suffered from the aftermath of the bombs. This reminds us of the importance of working together to control the use of powerful weapons like atomic bombs. The fourth lesson after the war was the creation of the United Nations to prevent future conflicts like World War II. Its goal is to promote peace, protect human rights, and support international development. In conclusion, we should never experience another conflict like World War II. To achieve this, we must work together and learn to negotiate with each other peacefully. Remember, war causes great suffering, and we should do everything we can to avoid it. Let's honor the sacrifices of those who lived through that time by learning from history and striving to make the world a better place. Thank you for your time.
인사. 정현 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 이은채 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷. 인사. 시작해주세요.
What comes to your mind when you think of war? I think of misery first. However, I also think of change and innovation. Change and innovation start with our mental attitude. Wars are terrifying and frightening. Nevertheless, wars deliver us of great enlightenment. Here are 3 similar wars. First, the Opium War. Second, the Battle of Shimonoseki. Third, the French campaign against Korea, especially what we call Pyeongnam. In these 3 wars, I think the important things are reform and innovation. These general wars, in which the countries of imperialist powers engaged in trade coercion and colonization of East Asian countries, were defeated. But the attitude toward accepting the war was different. China and Joseon feared change, so they locked the doors of their countries tighter and tighter. On the other hand, Japan accepted the West's techniques and capabilities, even though they were afraid, and tried to apply them to their country. In that way, Japan succeeded in the Meiji Restoration. Japan had created its own technology by introducing and researching advanced things. Additionally, they bought and translated vast amounts of Western technical books. Of course, Japan's past turned into militarism and they invaded Joseon, China, and other Asian countries. However, the truth is that Japan understood the trend of the times, was active in change, and eventually, the difference was enormous. I think there is no future for people or countries that don't remember and emulate history. Let's remember that we must read the trend of the times and think about what will happen in the future. Thank you for listening.
네, 이은채 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 나건빈 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷. 인사. 시작해주세요.
Boo! Boo!
waking up one day to find your country at war. In the early morning, you open your eyes and hear loud cannons. This is what happened on June 25th, 1950, when the Korean War began. Hello everyone, my name is Kai. I'd like to talk about the Korean War, that also called the 625 War. The war was a big fight between North Korea and South Korea that started on June 25th, 1950 and ended on July 27th, 1953. Let's talk about what happened during this war and what we can learn from it. In 1950, North Korea suddenly attacked South Korea. They wanted to make all of Korea follow their way of thinking called communism. At first, they quickly took over most of the country. The United Nations, led by the United States, helped South Korea and pushed North Koreans back. But then, China joined to help North Korea. The fighting went back and forth near the middle of Korea. After a long time of fighting, the war ended in 1953 with an agreement called an armistice. The war has some sad results. First, more than 4 million people died. Second, Korea remained divided into North and South. Third, both North and South Koreas were badly damaged. Fourth, many families were separated from their loved ones. From this war, we can learn important lessons. First, war hurts many people and destroys a lot. Second, it's better to solve problems by talking, not fighting. Third, countries working together can help in hard times. In conclusion, the Korean War teaches us that peace is very important. We should always try to understand each other and work together instead of fighting. Let's remember this lesson and do our part to make the world a more peaceful place. Thank you for listening.
네, 김민희 씨에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 서채원 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사, 시작해주세요.
Hello everyone! My name is Stella and today I'm going to talk about words and the lessons. What are words and why do words happen? First, lots of people are killed during the war. I think a war is not like a snow fight. In a snow fight, you just hit each other with soft snowballs. In a war, it is different. In wars, you fight with dangerous weapons. A war is similar to a battle, and the war happens when countries or nations disagree with each other. As a result, many people lose their homes or are killed during the war. The Korean War caused more than 1 million military deaths and an estimated to 3 million civilian deaths. One important thing to remember is that war is always happening and affecting many people. Next, I want to talk about wars involving other countries. Sometimes countries promise to help each other countries if they are attacked. The Korean War, which happened in 1950. The Korean War is a war between the United States and the Soviet Union with the Republic of Korea fought North and South. The fighting ended on July 27, 1953, with a ceasefire, but no peace treaty was signed, meaning that technically the two Koreas are still at war.
I want other countries to cooperate and listen to other countries' opinions because I feel sad seeing many people being killed. If they do, they will prefer our words. We also have to find some peace to stop some wars. Finally, what do you think you can do to help people affected by war? We can help people affected by war by donating food, water, shelter, toys, and clothes. And we can show our feelings by writing letters to children affected by war. We can show other people who don't know that war is happening. We can wish that war will stop. With our small powers added together, our great power will be able to stop wars and bring peace. Our big powers will help people affected by war. What do you think you can do to help people affected by war? I think you should think of some ideas and tell me your brilliant ideas. I would like to hear your thoughts about my topic, war and the lessons. If you're interested in wars, you can look at our books and learn information to people in need. Now, let's help people affected by war. Thank you for listening to my speech.
인사. 네, 채원 학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 오하은 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷. 인사. 시작해주세요.
Imagine this. A young boy clings tightly to his mother as explosions light up the night sky. Soldiers march through the streets, and cries of anguish echo all around. This was the horrifying reality my grandfather faced during the Korean War. Hello everyone, my name is Han Oh, and today I want to share a story about the Korean War and the lessons it has taught us. On June 25, 1950, North Korea, supported by the Soviet Union and China, suddenly attacked South Korea. In a single night, my grandfather's peaceful life was turned upside down. In the chaos, he lost his older brother, who was taken to North Korea. They were never reunited. My grandfather eventually passed away, still longing for his brother. Hearing the story fills my heart with deep sadness. What can we learn from this? His story taught me the priceless value of peace. War doesn't just destroy cities and buildings. It devastates countless lives and tears families apart. My grandfather's longing for his brother is a scar that will remind me why peace is so important. Moreover, my grandfather's story also gave me hope. During the war, South Korea was not alone. Soldiers from around the world, including those from the United States, the United Kingdom, Turkey, and many others, came together to defend our country. What would have happened to South Korea without their support? This question makes me realize the true power of cooperation. When people come together, even the darkest times can be overcome. Finally, the Korean War made me reflect on the importance of embracing differences. One powerful example is the Hungnam evacuation in 1950, where UN forces rescued over 100,000 Korean civilians, prioritizing humanity despite cultural and ideological differences. This compassion demonstrates that unity and diversity can lead to extraordinary results. I believe that appreciating diversity is the key to achieving harmony and peace. Now, close your eyes and imagine a world where no child has to hear the sound of gunfire, where nations join hands to solve problems, and where our differences bring us together instead of dividing us. By remembering these lessons, we honor the sacrifices of those who came before us and paved the way for a brighter and more peaceful future for everyone. Thank you.
인사. 하은 학생에게 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 강도영 학생의 스피치를.
네, 잠시만. 컴패션 서정인 대표님께서 참석을 하셔서 잠시 착석 안내 도와드리도록 하겠습니다.
네, 다음으로 강도영 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사. 시작해주세요.
Why do you study history? Why do you study war? History is not just about the past. It is about learning lessons to create a better future. Hello everyone, my name is Ian and I am 6 years old. Today, I am here to talk about the Korean War, an important event in my country's history. The Korean War started on June 25th, 1950, when North Korea invaded South Korea, crossing the 38th parallel, a border that separated the two Koreas after World War II. The war took many lives, and the people who survived faced injuries, sadness, and difficult lives. Families were split up, and parents, children, brothers, and sisters missed each other deeply. Can you imagine never seeing your parents again? It's impossible to imagine the heartbreak of such a loss. Many people also lost their homes and belongings. Important things like factories, roads, and railways were destroyed, making the economy very difficult. The fighting ended on July 27th, 1953 with a ceasefire. But no peace treaty was signed, meaning that technically the two Koreas are still at war. By studying war, I learned 2 important lessons. First, we need to make an effort to understand different ideas and cultures. History shows us how much pain and sadness follow when peace is broken by force. Second, we should remember and be thankful for the people who suffered because of war. Our peaceful life today exists because many heroes risked their lives to protect this country. We should be very grateful to them. We must teach the tragedy of war and its lessons to the next generation so we do not make the same mistakes again. Every human life is precious. To turn the tragedy of war into a better future, we all need to work together, make an effort, and stay committed to peace. Thank you for listening to my story.
도영 씨께 생각해 부탁드리겠습니다. 들어가세요. 다음은 류제이 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷, 인사. 시작해주세요.
Imagine waking up one day to find your city in ruins, your family missing,
and your whole life turned upside down. This was the reality for millions during the Korean War. Hi everyone, my name is Jae-ryu. Today, I want to share the story of the Korean War, a tragedy that started on June 25th, 1950, leaving scars that still divide a nation and shake the world. More importantly, I want to talk about the lessons we can learn from it, lessons that are just as important as they were 70 years ago. The Korean War started when North Korea, backed by China and the Soviet Union, launched a sudden attack on South Korea. What started as a single attack spiraled into one of the most devastating conflicts of the 20th century. Over 3 million lives were lost. 3 million! That's not just a number. It's the sound of families being torn apart, of homes disappearing instantly. It's the silence left behind when loved ones never return. What can we learn from this terrible war? The first lesson is the cost of peace. Peace is precious and it's fragile. When war begins, it doesn't just take away buildings, it also destroys lives. It leaves children orphaned and parents grieving. It takes away laughter and replaces it with fear. Think about living in a world where gunfire is louder than music and the sky is filled with smoke instead of stars. This is what war does. It robs people of the simple joys of life. The second point is unity and sacrifice. During the Korean War, many countries, like the United States, sent armies to help us. Their courage and sacrifices reminded us that we can be stronger when we stand together. Even in the darkest times, humanity can shine its brightest when we work as one. But what does this war mean to us today? The Korean War may seem like distant history, but war is even happening right now. Families are still being separated, and children are still losing their homes. We have a responsibility to help those who are in need. What can we do to help them? We can make donations to organizations like Korea Compassion. We can work as volunteers to help and teach children suffering from war or poverty. We can start small. Every act of kindness, every donation to those in need, and every voice standing against violence, it all matters. Remember, everyone, war is the most destructive and sorrowful thing in the world, both terrible to humans and animals. To make a peaceful world, we must cooperate and communicate to put a stop to wars. I truly hope that war never ever happens again. Let the Korean War serve as a powerful reminder that our choices today shape the history of tomorrow. Thank you for listening.
인사 제이학생에게 손박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 장윤슬 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷 인사 시작해주세요.
Hello, my name is Ellie Zhang, and I'm a student who is curious about war. I read a book called Number the Stars and saw how so many people suffered thanks to the Nazis. After reading this book, I became interested in World War II and researched about it. I will tell you my results and my opinion about war in today's story. In 1939, the peaceful harmony was broken like a shattering window. History's most painful and deadly war had officially started. World War II. The reason it was so painful to remember is that so many people had died. More than 3% of the world's population at that time is estimated to have been lost. Not only did many people end up losing their lives to war, but even economic, social, and cultural beliefs were all affected and destroyed. World War II is not just the past and our ancestors' history. It contains the message for the current generation, all of us. So let's try to learn a lesson from this historical war. First, thinking of racial first and making out a person with that leaves a tragic trail behind with a deep wound in people's minds. Therefore, we must abolish racial discrimination. To reset the mindset of people who think they are better than others, just because of religion, birthplace, gender, or appearance, we need to accept other cultures and respect them. Do you think it is fair that some people get to disrespect others just because of their religion, birthplace, gender, or appearance? No, it isn't. Everyone has the same wish, to be respected. Second, we must try to create a more peaceful world. To create a peaceful world, we must try to stop war. The most important thing is that people from each country talk to each other and work together to solve political problems as best as possible. Not with war or by sending armed forces. Each country working together as a team helps promote peace. We can donate money to the UN, support their actions, and try to help them as best as we can so that they can work harder for improvement. As citizens of our Earth, we should look into wars and take an interest in how to help stop them. To conclude, even though this war was distressing, it taught us many lessons, so we mustn't forget this agonizing war and work together for a better future. Thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope my speech today influenced you to act to help create a better future. Don't forget, in one moment, war destroys everything.
네, 민규학생에게 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음은 성은재 학생의 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 차렷! 인사! 시작해주세요.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eunje Sung, and today I want to talk about an extremely special war and what we can learn from it. First of all, let me tell you about war. What is war? Well, war is a state of fighting between many nations or groups. It often occurs due to disagreements between people. The war I want to talk about today is the Korean War, which is a conflict that may not be well known internationally, but still remains a tragedy in Korean history. The reason I picked this war is because it's unusual, yet deeply sorrowful. It is a war that was fought within one nation, dividing the country, and is still, in a way, being fought today. The Korean War began when North Korea, backed by China and the Soviet Union, invaded South Korea, crossing the 38th parallel, a border created after World War II to separate the two Koreas. The war involved two main sides: North Korea, supported by the communist nations, and South Korea, backed by the democratic forces. After bloody fighting and many deaths, the war finally ended on July 27th, 1953, but a peace treaty was never signed, and the two Koreas are still divided to this day. Now that we know a bit about the war, let's explore the lessons we can learn from it. The main lessons we can learn from this bloody war are still thought to be very important today by many people. First of all, the importance of international cooperation and alliances was crucial during the Korean War, and it continues to be relevant in maintaining global peace today. The different nations that had helped both sides during the war were a huge help for both Koreas. And if the power was imbalanced, the war would have been very escalated, making the conflict even bigger. Second of all, we can also learn about the power of diplomacy. War often occurs due to a lack of communication, and that is just what had happened in this war. If the two leaders of both sides had just talked, perhaps they could have stopped the war, settled all the problems, and avoided the misunderstandings and escalations. Third of all, we can learn the importance of peace. During the Korean War, about 2.5 to 3 million soldiers died, with an even larger number of civilian casualties. To wrap up, I want you to remember that the Korean War was a bloody war that has divided a whole nation, and the other wars that had happened and are still happening are no exception. Even with these lessons from thousands of wars over the course of history, people are still warring in many different places around the world. Let's all learn from the mistakes of the past and work together to create a more peaceful world for future generations. Finally, I hope that one day when I say I'm Korean, people will no longer ask if I am from the North or the South. I hope for a day that the two Koreas will be one, united, and whole. Thank you for listening.
네, 감사합니다. 인사 차렷, 인사. 네, 감사합니다. 네, 이제 정말 마지막으로 이제 한 명 남았는데요. 지금까지 이제 자리에 앉아서 같이 아이들의 스피치를 들어주신 여러분들께 감사 말씀을 전합니다. 네, 이제 다음으로 마지막 우리 이우영 학생의 어드밴스드 스피치를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 우영이 차렷, 인사. 그리고 시작해주세요.
There were sounds of bombs and rifles. Children who lost their parents was crying. Bloody red was everywhere. Hello everyone, my name is Jaden. I'm going to tell you about World War II, and we should not forget its important lessons. First, we should keep peace. Next, we should respect human rights. Third, we should create a society that cooperates with each other. World War II lasted from 1939 to 1945, during which many countries and people died. World War II was caused by economic difficulties and political conflicts, and it was a huge conflict that spread throughout Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Pacific. World War II spread pain and sorrow to countless lives, and resources were lost, leaving war scars that remain with us. So we must remember, once again, how disastrous war can be. World War II led the European countries to help each other. After the war, European countries strengthened their economic and political cooperation and sought peace and stability by establishing the European Union. The United Nations was established for cooperation and peace in the international community and has established itself as a very important institution. World War II made the humanity realize the misery of violence and war, and prompted international cooperation and efforts for peace through these lessons. These can create better futures. We have to remember and learn from the important words in history, and we must try to design a peaceful future for them. This has been Jaden, dreaming of a peaceful future without war. Thank you for listening to my speech.
네, 우영님 지금까지 기다려주셔서 정말 수고 많았어요. 네, 지금까지 어드밴스드 부문 마지막 스피치까지 모두 들어봤습니다. 이제 마지막으로 시상식만을 남겨두고 있는데요. 시상식을 하기 전 저희 이제 퍼플아카데미 제3회 스피치콘테스트에 한국컴패션 서정인 대표님이 참여를 해주셨습니다. 그래서 먼저 서정인 대표님의 축사를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 단상으로 올라와 주세요. 박수 많이 쳐주세요.
Wow, what a speech. I can never imagine 6-year-old to 8-year-old students can communicate like this. You are the top students. If you made it to this far, you are the champions and the heroes. So can I have all the students stand up? All the students who made it to this far. Okay, everyone.
일어나주세요, 학생들.
자, 부모님들 큰 격려의 박수를 쳐주세요. Thank you very much for your achievements. Well, my name is Justin. I work with Compassion Korea. And thank you very much for your participation, your excellence. And with your speech, I want you to just remember 3 words. The first word is communication, and that's what you're good at. Not only communicating in Korean, but also in English. The second word that comes from communication, as you practice more and more, confidence is the second word. That when you see people, you will be able to confidently share your thoughts, your hearts, and you will be able to build a relationship together. And the third word is the most important, as the future leaders that I see today, is the character. It's far more important than what you say or what you do, because that determines who you are. So just remember 3 words, 3 C's. One is communication, which you're good at it. Second word is confidence, which you have the confidence that you believe in yourself and believe in others. And then third word is, as you communicate and have built the confidence, you yourself will have character. Not only you believe in yourself, but you will be able to reach out to others. So it is my privilege and honor to be here and congratulate each one of you. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you.
네, 축하의 말씀을 전달해 주신 서정인 대표님께 감사의 박수, 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 이번 퍼플아카데미와 컴패션이 주관하는 제3회 스피치 콘테스트에서 우리 퍼플 친구들은 하나가 된 마음으로 목소리를 모으고 퍼플아카데미는 컴패션에 기부로 마음을 전달할 예정입니다. 네, 후원금을 전달하도록 할 예정인데요. 먼저 이수연 원장님과 서정인 대표님 같이 단상으로 올라와 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 네, 그럼 후원금을 전달하도록 하겠습니다. 안방에서 교실 건축 사업에 2천만 원이 기부가 되게 됩니다.
Thank you very much.
네, 모두 큰 박수로 환영 부탁드립니다. 네, 감사합니다. 네.
오늘 너무 치열하죠? 너무 잘하는 학생이 많지 않아요? 그쵸? 네. 그래서 지금 지금 점수 계산 중이에요. 떨려요? 내가 계산 받겠다. 오, 되게 많은데? 그렇지. 그럼 다른 친구가 뭘 잘했다고 생각해요? 누가 잘했다고 생각하는 거? 다른 친구 이런 점은 다 배우고 싶어요. 어? 발음을 잘했던 것 같아? 또? 채원이는? 어? 뭐라고? 손동작을 잘했어? 또?
친구들이 강조하고 싶은 거를 이제 크게 하는 게 저는 잘 못했지만 친구들은 잘한 것 같아서
잘했어요. 네. 또 도윤이.
자신감 있게 부끄럽지 않고 자신감 있게 말하는
아, 그런 게 부러웠어요? 아이고, 잘했어요. 혜민이는?
친구들이 목소리도 크게 하고 손동작도 저보다 잘하고 하니까 저는 친구들이 여기까지 올라온 게 정말 대단하다 이런 생각.
찬양이는?
친구들이 소리도 크고 되게 열심히 하는 모습을
멋있었어요? 사랑이는 뭘 느꼈어요? 넌 어느 게 오빠들이야? 준이는?
저는 저가 상을 못 받아도 다른 애들이 상을 받으면 저 이제 너무 기쁠 것 같아요.
그래요? 아유, 착해요. 그런데 다른 친구들이 시아는 뭐 느꼈어요? 카리스마 있게 하는 걸 배우고 누가 제일 카리스마가 있었던 것 같아요? 응? 백민이 오빠가요? 자, 모두 잘했어요. 여기 와서 떨렸죠? 여러분, 안 떨렸어요? 떨렸는데? 그치? 떨렸는데 여기 와서 여러분이 그렇게 한 게 너무 대단해요. 그리고 여러분 모두 아직 초등학생이고 그리고 또 이제 막 성장하잖아요. 근데 오늘 많이 배웠죠? 진짜 많이 배웠을 것 같아요. 그리고 또 잘하는 언니, 오빠, 친구 옆에서 보니까 나도 저렇게 해봐야겠다. 또 내년에는 이렇게 해봐야겠다는 생각이 들지 않았어요? 그렇죠? 퍼플아카데미에서 이렇게 서로서로 배우니까 좋죠? 네. 오늘 여기까지 온 여러분이 정말 대단해요. 전체 한 300명 중에서 여러분이 올라온 거예요. 네. 그래서 퍼플아카데미에서 그 안에 여기에 와 있는 것만으로도 정말 열심히 했고 또 오늘 무슨 상을 받든 여러분이 올해는 그렇게 됐지만 내년에는 더 잘할 수 있죠? 네. 그럼 잠깐 기다리시면 저희가 이제 채점을 해서 장려상부터 발표를 하도록 하겠습니다. 조금만 기다리세요. 그런데 여기서 떠들면 돼요, 안 돼요? 그렇죠. 퍼플아카데미 원장님은 너무 걱정했는데 길어서 뒤에 막 시끄러울까봐 걱정했는데 끝까지 조용히 앉아서 다른 친구들, 언니 오빠들 목소리 들어온 거 칭찬해요. 특히 우리 비기너 친구들 칭찬해요. 네. 자, 잠시만 기다려주세요.
진짜 놀랬어요. 아니 어떻게, 왜냐면 아이들이 앞에 쓰면요, 그 아이들이 제일 두려워하는 것 중에 하나가 사람 앞에 쓰는 거예요. 그리고 쓰는 것도 두려운데 표현하는 거는 더 두려운 거거든요. 예. 근데 그 두 가지가 제가 앞에서 몇 명을 봤는데 6살, 7살, 8살 어떻게 와, 이 자연스럽게 그것도 이 발음, 정확성, 내용 진짜 너무 잘하는 걸 보고 제가 무슨 생각했냐면 앞으로의 글로벌 이 국제 시대에 필요한 사람은 아무리 못해도 이중 언어가 돼야 되거든요. 컴패션의 대표를 뽑을 때에도 제일 중요했던 것 중에 하나가 경영도 알아야 되고 그 다음에 영적인 것도 가져야 되지만 또 아이들에 대한 간절한 사랑하는 마음, 이게 중요했지만 그것만큼 중요했던 게 완벽하게 웨스턴 마인드, 그 다음에 이스턴 마인드, 그러니까 한국인의 생각이면서 전 세계와 어울릴 수 있는 마인드셋을 가진, 언어가 되고 하는 사람을 찾은 거예요. 그래서 한국에서 68명을 면접을 했는데 결국에는 너무나 뛰어난 사람들이 많은데 찾다 저 시골에 있는 서정인이라는 한 사람을 누가 추천해서 이제 된 거예요. 그 이유는 영어와 한국어가 잘했기 때문이에요. 그리고 제가 이중언어를 하기 때문에 또 저희 애들도 이중언어가 완벽해요. 그러다 보니까 이 영어 특히 하는 아카데미를 많이 가보고 그다음에 저는 SFS 서울 외국인학교의 이사였어요. 오랫동안. 그래서 이제 학생들을 많이 접하고 선생님들을 접하는데 저는 퍼플아카데미의 이 아이들이 이렇게 어린 아이들이 잘하는 것은 굉장히 드물다고 생각해요. 그래서 아이들도 진짜 수고했지만 부모님 자신들도 자신에게 박수를 쳐주세요. Students, let's give a big, encouraging applause to your parents. Can you do that? 진짜 너무 수고 많으셨어요. 그리고 더더욱이 우리 퍼플 아카데미 선생님들 제가 보고 결과물을 보면서 진짜 딱 영어로 그거예요. It's amazing. 와우. 선생님들에게도 한번 격려의 박수 드리겠습니다. 컴패션은 전 세계의 빈민가에 있는 부모가 있던 없던 특히 과부 고아 아이들이 많아요. 근데 그 아이들을 데려다가 사랑하면서 계속 메시지는 그거예요. I love you, God loves you. 그리고 하나님이 또 우리는 너가 너에게 가진 달란트와 은사가 공부의 기회를 주어지고 축복의 기회가 주어지고 사랑의 기회가 주어져서 이 세상 앞에 최상의 모습으로 너가 표현되기를 원한다. 그래서 You are the masterpiece. 너는 진짜 별작품이란다. 하는 그 마음으로 아이를 대하면서 어렸을 때부터 대학교까지 키워내요. 그래서 컴패션 출신들이 변호사, 의사, 간호사, 교사 수십만 명이 매년 졸업을 하고 있어요. 그 빈민가에서 한두 년도 아니고 빈민가의 60%에서 70%의 아이들이 그렇게 졸업을 해요. 이게 말이 안 되잖아요, 확률적으로. 근데 그 이유는 뭐냐면 아까 제가 3C 말씀드렸죠. Communication, Confidence, and Character. 거기에 가장 중요한 게 뭐냐? 세 가지 중에서 Character. 그 아이들의 인품이, 성품이 겸손하면서도 겸손한 리더로 세워졌을 때 자기의 은사와 탤런트가 최상의 모습으로 발휘가 되고 쓰임 받으면서 교만해지는 게 아니라 진짜 낮은 곳을 향해 자기와 같은 또 그렇지 못한 아이들을 같이 껴안고 돌보면서 함께 사회를 세워갈 수 있는 아이들로 만들 것입니다. 그래서 부모님들이 꼭 기억하시고요. 그 이웃사랑을 컴패션을 통해서 이렇게 오늘 해주신 것도 너무 감사하지만 주변에 있는 어려운 노인이나 어르신들이나 누가 있으면 밥 한 끼를 서로 같이 만들어서 아이와 같이 가서 물을 두드리고 전달을 해주면서 아이가 어렸을 때부터 진정한 사랑이 뭔지를 이 몸소 체험하면서 자라나는 이런 아이들로 만든다면 나 홀로는요 아무리 채워도 끝이 없어요. 근데 이웃과 함께하는 그 즐거움은요 나를 잊게 만들어요. 그래서 제가 왜 지구를 매년 22바퀴 이상을 도는지 많은 사람들이 물어요. 비결은 딱 하나예요. 생명이 있고 그 생명이 최상의 모습으로 태어났을 때 가정입니다. 그런 아이들로 그런 리더로 만드시는 부모님들이 되시길 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
자, 이제 교수분에게 부탁이 있어요. 여기 있는 모두 참석한 친구들이 시상을 해야 되는데 어떤 친구는 우리가 어쩔 수 없이 뭐 장려상, 동상, 은상, 금상, 대상까지 가야 돼요. 자, 나는 막 상을 먼저 받았어. 그럼 이제 막 가방 들고 집에 가야 되지? 돼요? 안 돼요? 안 돼요. 그리고 우리 한 명씩 불러서 다 상 줄 거예요. 그러면 처음부터 끝까지 다 자리에 앉아있는 게 퍼플아카데미 친구들이야. 맞죠? 그렇게 할 수 있어요? 꼭 그렇게 해야 돼요. 알겠지? 다 됐는지